Hello and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial by me, FoxyNoTail, here on the Minecraft Bedrock Edition version of the game, and today we're looking at this 3x3 piston door, which I have invented. It's took me ages to do this, but I finally got it working. Now 3x3 piston doors are pretty easy on Java Edition because you've got the whole block spitting out thing and redstone quasi-connectivity and stuff. On Bedrock Edition it's pretty tricky, but I've managed to get it to work. When we press that button there, the door closes, like so, and when we press that button there, the door will open. Now the key to this design is that it is flush when you go through, as opposed to a lot of the designs I've seen where they leave a hole in the floor, which isn't very good. So yeah, this design is completely usable in survival Minecraft, and it works really, really well. It is a bit of a beast. It is relatively difficult to build because there's a lot going on, but I think we can just about manage a tutorial on this. There will be a world download for this if you're not able to follow the tutorial, but yeah, let's get cracking, see what we can do, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is actually to build this triple piston extender, which I did get off the internet. I borrowed it from a Reddit post that I saw, and it works really well. Now, I haven't credited the person because I didn't get their name. It didn't seem to have a name on it. It was just a video that was shared on a Reddit post. So yeah, I'm going to build this. This is going to make up the key component to our system, which is the bits going up in the middle. When we press that button, all of those bits going up in the middle is basically the key to making this work. So yeah, let's build that first. So this in itself is relatively expensive. We're going to need quite a few different blocks for this, and we're also going to color coordinate all of this to make this easy for ourselves. So let's get some concrete, and we're going to make this part of the door out of magenta. So first of all, we want 3 sticky pistons coming up off the floor like that, with a block on the top like that. Now we're going to replace that block later with the blocks we actually need to use. Then we're basically going to create a tower of blocks next to the sticky pistons like that, with one going over the top there, break a hole in between, and we basically want redstone torches going up each one of those like that until it gets to the top there. Behind this redstone torch, we actually need an observer facing upwards, which isn't the easiest thing to do. So grab yourself a temporary block, come into the floor, and then dig that up like that, and then you can put your blocks back there. And on top of that observer, we're going to have a repeater on 4 ticks like that. We then want an observer looking into that one there with a solid block next to that, and we actually want another repeater on there. I think that one then goes on 3 ticks. We then want a block directly on top of that one with a redstone lamp on top of that one, and we're going to have an observer looking into that redstone lamp there and another observer facing into the gap above it. We then want another repeater on top of that redstone lamp set to 4 ticks, and behind that observer there, we're going to have another solid block. That's pretty much it for the third row. Then the final row, we want a sticky piston down here at the bottom with an observer facing down in front of it and another observer facing down on top of that. We then want 3 solid blocks across there like that, and that sticky piston will then push that across there, which is absolutely fine. We then need an observer facing away from that with the redstone pointed into that block, then a repeater on that block there set to 3 ticks, I believe. Let me check. Yes, 3 ticks. We then want an observer looking down into that repeater with a block on top of it, a redstone torch on the side of that, and a sticky piston next to that facing down, which is going to grab that observer. Now if we put a lever on here, that should work. Let's have a look. They've all gone up and they all come down again. So we've done that correctly. Way! Whew! I didn't think I'd do that first time. Okay, next we're actually going to work on how we make this middle bit all work together. So on top of our main piston or top piston, we're going to have 2 slime blocks, which means we actually need this magenta block here to be a piece of obsidian. On top of those slime blocks, we're going to have a block of iron or whatever material you're making your door out of, and then in front of that one there we're going to have a sea lantern, and then we're going to have another block of iron or whatever material you're going to make your door out of there. The sea lantern doesn't have to be a sea lantern. I just think it looks nice to have the sea lantern in the center of the door. You can use whatever block you like. It's also very useful using that sea lantern because you can tell when your door's not actually working correctly as well. So we're now going to flick that lever, push it all up, and this is where our door is going to be. So what we need to do is then create a frame around that. So I'm going to use white concrete for the frame around our door, and I'm going to bring it 1 block out from that, and I'm just going to do a 5x5 shape around where our door's going to go so that we can see where all our blocks need to be. Then we can put the rest of our blocks into the system if we want to at this point, and then we need to put our sticky pistons in as well. So down each side, we're going to have 3 sticky pistons. So we need to bring out some temporary blocks there and put 3 sticky pistons up like that. We can get rid of those then. And then the same thing on this side. So bring out a couple of blocks there and bring up 3 sticky pistons there. Those sticky pistons should be in line with your side door blocks. So for the top one, we're going to put 3 temporary blocks in there, break the 2 underneath, put a sticky piston underneath that one facing down, and then break that. And that's all of our main pistons in for opening the door already. We're then going to do our top piston line, which is really easy. We just need a couple of green blocks. Now, they don't have to be green. This is just so we can remember what we're going to do. And we're going to put that on 3 ticks there and put a piece of redstone there and a piece of redstone on top of that piston there. Next, we're going to do the blue line, and we want a blue block on the middle of those 3 pistons there, and then a block straight below that like that. And then we want a redstone torch on that one and a piece of redstone dust on top there like that. Then we need to come down a couple more blocks with another redstone torch on that one, and then a couple more blocks with a redstone torch on that one there. Then we want 1 block there with a redstone torch on the side there. We pretty much do exactly the same thing on this side. So 1 block in the middle with a piece of redstone dust on the top, a block 2 blocks down from that with a redstone torch, and just carry that tower pretty much all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so we've got our side doors in place, we've got our top piston in place, they're all ready to go. Now we need to actually finish doing the top part of this door bit here. Can you see we've already sent a block off with that slime block, which isn't good. So we need to be using some glazed terracotta or another immovable block for some of this. Basically in the pattern like we've got here, so it's a C shape around those slime blocks. So all we need to do there is just get our glazed terracotta, and you can use whatever pattern you like. You can use other blocks as well. Bear in mind this is Bedrock Edition, so you can't use things like furnaces or leaf blocks because they will be moved by sticky pistons. But yeah, these work perfectly well. We can then extend our floor out that way if you want to. That's the walkway we're going to walk up to this thing on. Same thing that way if you want to as well. Then we're going to work on how we actually activate this thing. So we're going to grab a button. Now there's different ways of doing this. I've chosen to use a button just because I like the fact that you can use a button. If we had a lever on here, the whole system would actually be easier, because what we've actually got on this is a button coming through a T flip-flop, which is then activating it. If we used a lever, we wouldn't need any of this T flip-flop stuff. So I'm going to do the tutorial now with the T flip-flop, and then we'll switch it out for a lever later, and you can see both of those. Okay, so you're going to want to break the block underneath the block with the button on, put a sticky piston in facing downwards, put a redstone block underneath that, and then 2 blocks down from that, put yourself another block with a piece of redstone dust on. Now, next to that block, we're going to have a dropper facing towards us, a dropper in front of that one facing upwards, and a dropper above this one facing downwards. So we'll put a temporary block there so we can place that, and then we want a hopper actually facing into that one. So when we put an item in there, it's going to travel round like that. Now we can put an item in there, it can be whatever you want as long as it's only one item. And then off this top one here, we want a comparator output. So now if we were to put a button on that bottom dropper there, that comparator will switch every time we press that button. So we've created a T flip-flop, which is really handy. If you've got a button input and you want the output to switch, this is a really easy way to doing it. It's quite fast as well. Then we just want a block in front of that comparator with a redstone torch on it to invert the signal, and we're pretty much there now. There's not a great deal more to do, thankfully. Right, we're going to go back to our magenta line now, so we're going to actually get the redstone signal from this to actually feed into that. So we want a block 2 blocks down from our redstone torch there with a block next to that, and we're basically just going to run a piece of redstone down there like that, a piece of redstone there, and a repeater next to that block there. And that's important because we're going to have redstone actually going on with that, and then we can just put redstone going into that there like that. So that's going to go down. Now when we press our button, we should hopefully see this middle bit do what it needs to do. So that should drop all the way down if we've done it right. It's not doing. What have we done wrong? Yeah, we've got more sticky blocks moving things about. We need to get another one of our glazed terracotta blocks in front of that observer there. I believe that should fix the issue. Let's check that out now. When we press that, that goes up. And then when we press it again, it should all come down fully. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely perfect. And while we're here, we might as well stick in another couple of blocks there just to finish that door bit off there, and another one there as well. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to get rid of that repeater block, and we're going to put an iron block there, and we'll put the repeater on top of that. just to make it look nice and neat where the door is. Now it's all nice and flush. Now we've got the magenta line in, we're going to link up the blue line. So all we need is a repeater in front of that block there and just continue that bit of redstone down there. So we're going to put a redstone repeater behind that block there coming out from that, and just redstone coming around to there, straight into that torch there. So now we should also get the side of the doors going in as well when we close it, and the top one as well. So that is now all of the components of our door working. The only thing we need to worry about now is that block there coming back up again, and we're just going to use a simple normal piston like we've got over here just to raise that door back up. So we're going to need a couple of observers, a couple of repeaters, a block, and I don't think we actually need that block to be glass there, but we're going to do this out of purple. So all we're going to do is put an observer facing into that sea lantern there. Behind that observer, we're going to have another observer facing upwards, and then on the back of it, we're going to put a repeater on 4 ticks. Then we want a block underneath that observer there, and a block diagonally down from it like that with another repeater on it on 4 ticks like that. And then we just want a single piston, not a sticky piston, in front of that. And all that does is, once those blocks get fully retracted, it pushes those two back up again so that they are flush with the floor. So when we close it, it will close like that. And then when we open it again, you'll see those will go all the way down and then it'll pop back up again. So we get that block coming down fully and we get the sea lantern fully down. And that's it. That is a 3x3 piston door. Nice and easy. Couldn't be simpler, guys, honest. Okay, so in order to get this thing to work with the lever instead of a button, I've removed the button, I've removed all of the T flip-flop stuff, and I've just left this little bottom bit intact here. We're going to stick the lever on there instead. We're going to put a sticky piston underneath it, a little bit like it was before, but this time we're going to use slime blocks like so. We're going to dogleg them down like that, bring them all the way to there, and then we're going to put a redstone block there. Next, we're going to grab that repeater and we're going to move that over to this side here, and then we're just going to get rid of that block there and put redstone lines in there, and that should do it, I believe. If we flick that lever now, it should all close up, which it did do, and then if we flick that open, the whole thing should open up, which it does, so that works perfectly well. So that's, the whole thing is a lot less convoluted without that T flip-flop, but if you wanted to use a button for whatever reason, you can do. The other thing you could do is put this whole thing on a massive delay clock, so you could press a button, the door would open, and then it would close behind you, but you would need quite a long delay because the actual whole thing takes a while to activate. But let's see if we can do that. Okay then, so the way we're going to make this work with the button so that the door opens and then closes behind you is we're going to use the same system we used with the lever, but we're going to make some changes. First of all, we're going to get rid of pretty much all of that bit of redstone there. We're also going to shorten this, so we're going to take that slime block out and move the redstone a block up there. We're then going to put a magenta block there. It could be any sort of solid block with a redstone torch on the side of it, and then we want a piece of redstone dust there, coming into a comparator there, and another comparator in front of that. We then want a comparator there next to that, and a piece of redstone dust there and one behind it with another magenta block there. We're going to then get another redstone torch, we're going to put that on that magenta block there, and we're going to bring a redstone line from that to almost to that block and then put a repeater back there. And that's pretty much it. Now when we press the button, this is going to create a delay clock, or a decay clock as they're known, which is going to decay slowly, and it's going to give us time to go through and then close the door behind us. So let's just try it. Let's stand here. We'll watch the door fully open. That will come back up. We can walk through, and then it's going to all close behind us. Now it does look a little bit ugly from the from behind this door. I know there's not a lot I can do about that really. That's just the nature of the game. You can build up around this thing. There's not really a great deal you can do. We're always going to have those slime blocks there, but it's not too bad. I think it's okay. I'm really happy with it. I think it's a really, really nice 3x3 piston door for the Bedrock edition of the game. It's relatively simple. It's relatively compact-ish. Well, okay, it's not compact, but it's pretty good. And it works well, and it's relatively fast as well. I like it. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do please leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!